Now, Ray Ma will present the Michael Carson Award for Excellence in Television Drama Direction. Would you please welcome Ray to the stage?
In 2006, the acclaimed ABC director Michael Carson was to receive an ASDA Accreditation Award for Excellence at the annual ASDA dinner. Sadly, he passed away prior to this award being presented. This award has been named in his honour, and I'm sure Michael would be delighted to hear that this year's winner is Jeffrey Nottage. But sorry, you don't get out of it quite that easily. In a nutshell, Jeffrey started his career at Channel 9 in Adelaide as a props boy. He left 5 years later as a senior cameraman, travelled overseas, spent a year as a cameraman in Dublin, returned to Australia, joined the ABC as a cameraman, left 10 years later as a producer-director specialising in music programs. He began life as a freelance drama director on episodes of Punishment. He worked in the USA on Key West, Charlie Grace, and Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and in Dublin on Fair City. For the last 14 years, we've been lucky enough to have him in Summer Bay. Now, I won't attempt to list all of Jeffrey's credits, but here are just a few that won AFI's or Directors Guild Awards for Best Direction. In 1986, Displaced Persons for the ABC, The Damnation of Harvey McHugh for the ABC, Something in the Air, ABC, Police Rescue, ABC, Home and Away in 2012 and 2014, and other directorial efforts that deserved awards include La Boheme. Jeffrey directed the TV recording of Baz Luhrmann's Australian opera production. It received an Emmy nomination. Women of the Sun, a landmark series about Aboriginal women. Fallen Angels for the ABC, Rescue Special Ops for Channel 9, the telemovie Midnight Orchid, which won a silver plaque at the Chicago Film Festival. Jeffrey also has directed countless episodes of shows like GP, A Country Practice, Prisoner, Embassy, Kings, and many more. He brings incredible energy to the set, and he's determined to make the best out of what he's given. During his 14 years on Home and Away, he's mentored young directors and subtly given young and old actors the acting lessons they should have had before they were cast. He massages scripts on a daily basis, sometimes with approval, sometimes without. There was a young man on Home and Away who'd been playing a policeman without a great deal of success for about a year. One day, Jeffrey was gently trying to get some semblance of a performance out of him, but he just couldn't hack it. And out of frustration, he sharply said to Jeffrey, "Back off, mate. I'm a cop, not an actor." Jeffrey thought for a second and he said, "I'm not sure about the first one, but you're dead right about the second." The foundation of all this work was back in Adelaide. The year Jeffrey started as a props boy at Channel 9 was also the year of the birth of that iconic children's TV character, Humphrey B. Bear. Jeffrey was 20 at the time, and when the real Humphrey collapsed as he was about to go on air, Jeffrey stepped in. They couldn't get him out of the bear suit for about 9 months. During this time, Jeff as Humphrey was asked to make an appearance at a German beer festival in Adelaide. With hindsight, probably not the smartest place for a man in a bear costume to go. After about an hour of wandering through the beer-swilling crowd, Humphrey was approached by an over-enthusiastic and over-lubricated lout who started pulling at Jeffrey's left arm. Jeffrey, fearful that the left arm might be ripped off the costume, and as the character was unable to speak, Jeffrey took matters into his own hands. His right hand, actually, which he landed squarely on the lout's jaw. The lout stepped back in shock and turned to his mates and said, "The bloody bear punched me!" Jeff did his best Humphrey, hand on hip, finger pointing, and then to make sure he didn't have to fight round two, turned quickly and skipped into the crowd to huge applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the winner of the 2016 Michael Carson Award, Jeffrey Nottage.
I'm glad that Humphrey Bear story is just finally out there. I've carried it so long. But the upshot was he was an idiot and he deserved it. Actually, all I thought of was I had to protect Channel 9. And I guess as directors working for networks think that they should be protecting the network they're working for, but it was panic and he was an idiot and he dropped his beer, which actually pleased me a great deal. Sam, laying on the board of the Directors Guild, I'm very honoured to get this. I'm very honoured that my colleague Ray Ma agreed to give it to me. He's not only a valued working colleague, he's a very good friend. I knew Michael very well. We were at the ABC together, worked together on police rescue, bit of a clip there. You can actually tell how old I am because most of that's 4:3 standard definition. So, he also produced a telemovie, White Man's Legend, a bit of that was there too. He produced it, I directed it. We met at the training school in King's Cross, those who remember that. It was a course run by a very charismatic, wonderful producer-director called David Stevens. And he was extremely encouraging to me. He encouraged, cajoled, insulted, yelled, and said, "You have a lot in you, let go and let it out there." So I wanted to acknowledge him tonight because I don't know where he is in the world. I think he's in New Zealand, but without David, I wouldn't be here. I hear that this year that they've decided to look at directors who actually work in serial television, which I've been doing. And for that, I've got to actually thank Julie McGoran, who lured me to Home and Away for 5 weeks. She said, "Oh, I just want your skill with actors and your very pretty pictures." It's the first lesson that flattery is the easiest way to a director's heart and sort of overcomes any other objections they may have. But what she didn't tell me was that I was going to actually encounter a crew, and particularly a cast, who were so talented and hardworking and have such fun and devoted, despite the amount of material that they have to deal with each week. And as Ray alluded to, that 5 weeks became 14 years. I've grown to actually love that genre and to respect it, which I don't think years ago many directors did. It's not a ground for training directors, which some people think it's too hard to do. But the bar has been risen on that show, particularly under Julie, then Cameron Welsh, and now Lucia Dario. And each day is a challenge. There's much I probably want to say, but I think this is a wonderful award in Michael's honour, and I guess age has told me that in a working life, don't have regrets. You kind of make your choices, you've got to seize them and deal with them and be proud of them, make the most of them, and that's it. And in that life, in my working life, it's been kind of successful and fun and quite rewarding, so thank you very much.